Good evening, my friends. Before you ever hold that ticket in your hand, before you reach for your wallet, before you tap the screen, before you breathe a single hope into the air, say this silently. In the deep, sovereign interior of your own being, where no one else can hear and no one else needs to, not with the trembling voice of a man hoping to be rescued, not with the breathless urgency of someone who needs this to work, with the quiet, settled authority of one who already knows they have received. It is done. The money is mine. I have already won. Say it once. Not 100 times. Not as a formula to be repeated until it takes effect. Once from the right place, with the right feeling is enough to plant the seed. What follows is not the saying. What follows is the being. Understand what you are doing when you say these words. You are not buying a ticket to hope. You are not paying for the privilege of a few days of pleasant daydreaming before disappointment arrives. You are claiming what is already yours in the only dimension where anything is first made real. You are stepping into a state, a specific, felt, inhabited state of consciousness in which the outcome is already known, in which the money is already in your possession, in which the question has already been answered. The world calls what you are doing a gamble. I call it law. And the law is this: that which you dare to assume as true, genuinely, feelingly, from the inside out will become your experience. The lottery ticket is not the source of your wealth. It is the bridge of incident through which your assumption flows into physical form. But the power is not in the paper. The power is not in the numbers. The power is in the silent words spoken from the state of already having. Let me show you the feeling you are looking for, because the feeling is everything. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine you are standing in your home. In your hands, you hold the results. Your eyes move across the numbers slowly, disbelievingly at first, then with growing certainty. Each number matches. Not one, not three, all. And then the wave comes, relief and joy and gratitude all arriving at once, flooding through you the way water floods through a dam that has finally been released. That feeling, that specific, whole body, unmistakable feeling, hold it. That is your key. That is the state you must be in when you speak the silent words. Not the feeling of hoping it will happen, not the feeling of believing it might. The feeling of someone who is already living inside the reality of having won, who is feeling the relief of financial freedom, the warmth of abundance, the specific peace of someone who knows that all the worry was unnecessary because it is all now resolved. From that feeling, say the words, "It is done. The money is mine. I have already won." Not to make it true, because in that feeling, it is true in the only dimension where truth is first established. Do not try to feel the feeling. Be it. This is the distinction that separates genuine assumption from hollow repetition. The man who has won the lottery does not feel the way the man feels who hopes to win it. The man who has received does not question how, does not monitor whether it's working, does not periodically check his emotional state for signs of sufficient belief. He simply lives in the joy of having. The question is settled. The matter is closed. He is not at the edge of something, he is inside it. This is the state you must inhabit, not the edge of the wind, the inside of it. Do not concern yourself with the specific numbers. Do not try to pick the right ones by some intuition you are hoping to develop. That is the old way, the way of effort, of fear, of the belief that if you just figure out the right external action, the right mechanism, the result will follow. Your way is the way of knowing. You are not working out the mechanism. You are inhabiting the outcome. And when you inhabit the outcome completely, genuinely, from the inside, the mechanism arranges itself. The bridge builds. The numbers align to match the inner reality you have already established. But you must hold fast. You must not waver. Do not speak of what you do not want. Do not say, "I never win." Do not say, "It's just luck." Do not discuss your current financial circumstances as though they were your permanent identity. Current circumstances are shadows, the crystallized form of previous states of consciousness, showing you not what you are, but what you were. They are the photograph of a moment that has already passed, not the truth of what is becoming. If you persist in the state of wealth, if you continue to inhabit, day after day, the felt reality of someone for whom abundance is simply the background condition of their life, the world must echo back wealth. This is not optimism. This is the law operating as it always operates, reading the actual felt state of your consciousness and delivering the physical correspondence. But if you speak of lack, you reinstate it. If you return to the inner conversation of the person who doesn't win, who never gets lucky, who watches other people's lives change while their own stays the same, you are not simply being realistic. You are creating the reality you are describing. The world is a mirror, and it has no opinion about what you put before it. Speak only of what you desire to see reflected. The secret, stated plainly, is not in the saying, it is in the feeling. The most powerful thing you can speak is a word uttered silently and believed, fully believed, not as a future possibility, but as a present reality. The word, when spoken from the state of genuine inner conviction, does not go out and wait to be answered. It goes out and expresses itself. The word becomes flesh, not by force, not by striving, but by the law of assumption. What you assume as true, with feeling and persistence, must manifest in form. Say it now again, silently. From the state, from the feeling, it is done. The money is mine. I have already won. Feel what you would feel if it were already confirmed. How would you walk through the rest of today? How would you sleep tonight? Knowing that what you have been working and worrying toward is done, settled, resolved. What would the morning feel like? What would the quality of your breath be when there is no financial fear attached to it? Take that feeling into your body. Let it change your posture. Let it change the quality of your silence. This is your new identity, not something you are performing for others, something you are being for yourself. The lottery is not the miracle. You are. The ticket is the instrument, the bridge, the physical medium through which the assumption moves from the invisible into the visible. But the power that moves through the bridge is yours, your imagination, your felt assumption, your willingness to inhabit the reality of having before the world has caught up and confirmed it. The masses believe in odds, they believe in probability, in statistics, in the mathematics of chance. They believe what they see, and what they see is a world of random outcomes where most people lose and a very few win by accident of fortune. But you, if you are to live this truth fully, you must believe in what you imagine. You must trust the unseen. You must walk by inner conviction, not outer evidence. And here is the paradox that proves the law. The moment you genuinely do this, the evidence comes, not to persuade you because you no longer need persuading, but as the natural outpouring of the state you have already established. The world will call it luck. They will say how fortunate. They will marvel and ask what your secret is. And you will smile not with arrogance, which is what insecurity does when it wants to look like confidence, but with the quiet understanding of someone who knows exactly what occurred. You will know that long before the numbers aligned, long before the check arrived, long before anyone could see it, you lived it, you claimed it, you assumed it, and so it came. I am not asking you to repeat a phrase mechanically until something happens. I am asking you to assume your rightful place as the operant power of your own life. You are not a victim of fate. You are not a passive participant in a random game. You are the author of your experience, the creative consciousness through which reality is shaped. Say the words from that place, not to ask for something, not to beg for something. From the place of knowing, it is done. The money is mine. I have already won. Then, and this is where most people stumble, and where you must not forget about it. Not because you doubt it, because you know it. These are entirely different energies, and the distinction matters enormously. The man who plants a seed and cannot stop digging it up to check is a man who does not yet trust the nature of seeds. The man who plants a seed and walks away, tending to the rest of his life with the settled expectation of a harvest, that man understands the nature of seeds. He trusts the process. He is not passive, he is faithful. You have spoken the word. The word has gone forth. Your inner world is alive with the reality you have assumed. Your outer world has begun, in ways invisible to you, the process of aligning with what you have claimed. Each event, each seeming coincidence, each unexpected connection, all of it is part of the pattern moving toward the expression of your assumption. But you must let it move. You must not interfere. You must not constantly check whether it is working, because checking is the behavior of someone who is not sure, and certainty is what you have established. When doubts come, and they will come, especially in the days when nothing visible has yet shifted, return to the end, not in frustration, not in the grim determination of someone who is forcing themselves to believe, with the ease of someone returning to their favorite chair. The state you established is still there. The assumption is still planted. The doubt is simply the old self, the old frequency, the old inner conversation trying to reclaim its territory. You do not fight it. You do not argue with it. You simply return. It is done. The money is mine. I have already won. Feel it again. Let the feeling return. And when it does, let it settle you the way certainty always settles, not with excitement, but with peace, the specific peace of someone for whom the matter is resolved. Let me say something that will sound strange, and then I will explain why it is precisely right. Do not be concerned if the wind does not come in the first day or week. Do not ask, where is it? The question itself reveals the state of separation, the state of a person who believes the thing is somewhere else, traveling toward them, not yet arrived. This is the state of longing, not the state of having. And it is the state you have specifically chosen to leave. When the voice inside asks, where is it? Recognize that voice. It is the old self speaking, the self who lives in the middle, perpetually reaching towards something they have not yet claimed. You have left that self behind. You are not waiting for the win. You are being the winner, inwardly, consistently, as your daily and permanent inner orientation. When someone asks how you are doing, respond with the energy, not necessarily the words, but the energy of someone whose greatest desire has already been fulfilled. Don't announce it. Just know it. That knowing changes your tone before you have said anything. It changes your posture, the quality of your eye contact, the ease of your manner. People cannot name what is different about you, but they feel it, because you are broadcasting a different frequency, the frequency of someone who is not grasping for something they don't have. And that frequency, held consistently, reorganizes the circumstances of your life in ways you could not have planned. Those who think this is about finding a lucky ticket misunderstand the deeper law. The ticket is only a symbol. The power is in the assumption. You could walk into a store with $1 and walk out with the seed of $1 million, not because of what you bought, but because of what you believed when you bought it. Because of the felt, genuine, inhabited state you carried through the door. This is why the belief must be total, not a compartment of your mind, not something you believe when you are in a quiet room doing visualization exercises and doubt when you are out in the world. Your dwelling place, the consciousness you live in, the way you live in your home, returning to it constantly, naturally, without having to remind yourself that this is where you belong. A divided mind cannot stand. You cannot affirm wealth in one moment and affirm lack in the next and expect clarity of manifestation. You are dividing the signal. And a divided signal produces divided results. The experience of someone who almost wins, who gets close, who has moments of abundance followed by returns to scarcity. The law is responding to your actual average inner state, not to your best moments. Be single-minded. Be unwavering. Let your assumption become your only inner truth about this matter. When the old self rises, when doubt speaks in the reasonable, measured voice of a person who has simply noticed the facts, do not panic. Do not treat it as a sign of failure. Smile at it if you can. That voice is not wisdom, it is habit. The habit of a consciousness that has been operating from a particular frequency for a long time. Habits change when you stop feeding them. Feed the new habit instead. The habit of assumption, the habit of the silent, settled knowing. The habit of waking up in the morning and greeting the day as the person who has already won, who moves through the world with the specific ease of someone for whom financial worry is simply no longer part of the inner landscape. Say it again, not to be convinced, but because you already are. It is done. The money is mine. I have already won. Let that phrase become your anchor. When the world feels uncertain, let it be your return address. When fear tries to take the wheel, let it be your compass back to center. You do not need anyone else's agreement. You do not need the world to confirm it before you inhabit it. Your inner world is self-sufficient. Your assumption alone is the cause. The outer world is only ever the effect. And when the wind comes, when the outer world finally catches up to the inner reality you have been inhabiting, receive it naturally. Welcome it as expected. Not with the disbelieving gasp of someone who thought they were only dreaming, with the quiet nod of someone who knew, of course, this is the natural outcome of the state I have been living in. This is the reflection of what has been true in consciousness for some time now. Do not say, I can't believe it. Say at least to yourself, at least inwardly, of course. This is who I am. This is what naturally belongs to someone who dwells in this state. Because that is the truth, not luck, not coincidence, law. The quiet, sacred, impersonal law of assumption expressing itself in the only way it ever expresses itself, by making the inner outer, by turning the invisible into the visible, by delivering the physical correspondence of the state that was genuinely, persistently, feelingly maintained. You were never waiting for the win. You were becoming it. That is the only truth in this entire matter. Not the numbers, not the mechanism, not the timing. The one operative fact is this: you become what you assume you already are. And when you have truly assumed it with the full weight of your feeling, your imagination, your daily orientation, the world bends to confirm what was always established in the only place that matters. So the next time you buy a ticket or the next time you step toward any desire, in any domain of your life, pause. Step into stillness. Go inward and speak the silent word not as a request but as a declaration, not as a hope but as a knowing. It is done. The money is mine. I have already won. Speak it from the end, from inside the fulfilled desire, from the state of the person who is living the reality that your senses have not yet caught up to. Then walk away in peace. Your work is finished. The seed is planted. The law is already operating. The bridge is already being built by an intelligence that does not require your supervision. Your only remaining task, and it is not a task so much as a way of being, is to remain in the state, to keep the inner fire of your assumption alive, to refuse to return to the old inner conversation, the old identity, the old frequency of someone who doesn't win, because you are not that person anymore. You are the one who speaks silently with conviction, who walks in the unseen wealth of certainty, who understands that the true ticket was always the assumption made within, and that the paper in your hand is only ever the shadow of a reality already formed in the silence. It is done. The money is mine. I have already won. And so it is. This is Neville Lectures. I'll see you again in the next video.